Good morning, everyone. There is a fascinating report that comes out annually from the UN, and it lists the top 165 countries as they are rated for their levels of happiness. It's an index on happiness, and the report for 2022 just came out on Friday. Well, the 165th country, the least happiest country in the world, was Afghanistan. And that's no surprise, especially now that the Taliban is running Afghanistan. The happiest country in the world, according to this report, which is conducted by independent experts, was Finland. The United States of America came in number 16. Britain came in 17. France came in 20. Well, where did Israel come in? Believe it or not, Israel came in as the 9th happiest country in the world. And this is fascinating. Little Israel, which is surrounded by enemies, has existential threats to its existence from Iran, fights terrorism on a daily basis from multiple terrorist organizations, and yet the citizens and the people of Israel came in number 9th on the happiness scale. And the question is, what's the secret to their happiness? And so the conductors of the report said that there are three main factors that they use that determines happiness levels in a country. First one is societal bonds and connections, societal support and infrastructure, a country that has a good social network. The second factor that determines happiness is personal acts of generosity and kindness amongst its citizens. And the third factor they pointed to is faith. Not only faith in God, but faith in one another and in their leaders. In this week's Torah portion, as well as the entire book of Leviticus, we read about the Kohanim, the priests. Aaron and his children begin their duties in this week's Torah portion as the priests. And one of the sacrifices they brought was the Thanksgiving offering, the Todah. And one of the requirements of the Todah is they have to finish eating the offering that day, and nothing could be left until the morning. What's also unique about the Thanksgiving offering is that you had to bring it with 40 loaves of bread. And the question is, how could one person eat 40 loaves of bread? And why does the Torah insist you finish it by the next day? And three answers perhaps pertain to these three indications of happiness. You see, when a Jew brought his Thanksgiving offering to God, he had to sit down and invite people to eat with him and tell them about his gratitude and his thanksgiving and the great kindness that he experienced. By doing this, he was making sure that his gratitude is spread to the community, to the society at large, injecting and infecting others with the contagious feeling of appreciation, gratitude, and happiness. And that's the first factor in the state of Israel's exceptional level of happiness. That as Jews, we always share our simchas. We invite everyone to our occasions. You know, weddings in Israel are known, a small wedding has 400 people. Always sharing our gratitude with others. The second reason given why it had to be finished by the next day is because gratitude means that you don't just eat it for yourself and take your leftovers home for your family, but you eat it that day and invite others and give to others, to those who need to eat. 40 loaves of bread have to be brought with the Thanksgiving offering to make sure you can have a feast for many people, because there's no gratitude without personal generosity and paying it forward. And finally, the most beautiful answer by the Rabbi. He says, you know why you finished the offering that day? Because you have faith and confidence that tomorrow there'll be another occasion for Thanksgiving. And so you better finish up what you ate today, because tomorrow you're going to have a whole new feast again. Living with that faith and confidence that God and your fellow man will always do acts of kindness, and you will have reason to be grateful every day of your life, as we say in the prayers, for the miracles that God performs every day. That's the third element of happiness. And to show you a most recent example of the Jewish people in the state of Israel's level of connection with others and responsibility for others, which generates happiness, which is the mindset of Israelis. With the war raging in Ukraine, Israel on Friday airlifted 17 tons of medical equipment to open a field hospital in western Ukraine to treat people who need medical care, Jews and non-Jews alike. And Prime Minister Bennett called Putin and arranged for a location that the Russian army would not bomb so they could treat these patients. And what a hospital it is. 65 doctors and nurses are going to be going over this week and setting up this hospital. And the hospital is already being set up, and there's already an Israeli flag flying over it. And there's going to be pediatric department, primary care department, maternity department, delivery rooms, x-ray rooms, surgery centers, and a command post in Israel to do telemedicine as well. That's the spirit of the Jewish people. When we only think about ourselves, we end up being unhappy in life. When we focus our attention on giving and caring for others and our society as a whole, and not just our society, but the worldwide community, and being the first to go and lead the way to help others, that is the way we find our own personal happiness. When we have faith in the future of mankind and believe in each other and in our leaders. Wishing everyone a happy and wonderful day.